Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Arsalan Farrukh and I teach math and physics. In this video, I will discuss the equation of circle with you. This is part of coordinate geometry. So first of all, let's see how we get the equation of circle. So if you consider a circle which is passing through origin, and there is a point on the circumference of the circle whose x coordinate is x and y coordinate is obviously y. What you need to identify is that if you make a right angle triangle, the horizontal distance, the x coordinate is x, the vertical distance, which is the y coordinate, that is y, and the distance of the point from the origin are these three lengths form the three sides of a right angle triangle. We can apply the Pythagoras theorem onto it, which is base square plus perpendicular square is equal to hypotenuse square. So in this situation, base is x, perpendicular is y, and hypotenuse is the radius of the circle. And we get ourselves the equation of a circle, x square plus y square equals r square for only those specific circles which have center at the origin. Now, if we move this circle, or let's say we translate the circle on the coordinate axis so that its center is no more at the origin, it's at point A and B. Still considering the point on the circumference to be x and y, and making a right angle triangle with the radius of the circle, I can sort of identify that the horizontal base would be x minus a. This entire distance is x and this distance is a, so this distance must be x minus a. So this base becomes x minus a, and similarly, if this entire length is y and this length is b, then this length would be equal to y minus b. So for this particular right angle triangle, the base becomes x minus a, the perpendicular becomes y minus b, and the hypotenuse would be the radius, and we can get ourselves an equation which is x minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square is equal to r square. Now, this is an equation of circle whose center is at A and B and which has a radius r. So you can use this particular formula to find out equation of any circle. Like for example, you're being told that there's a circle with the center 1 and minus 5 and the radius equals 4. So you can directly apply this formula and get yourself the equation of circle. So you would say it's going to be x minus the x coordinate of the center, which is 1, whole square, plus y minus the y coordinate of the center, which is minus 5, and then there's a whole square onto that, and that's equal to radius square, which is 4 square. You can just simplify this equation, but somehow you've gotten yourself the equation of the circle. So this is going to become x minus 1 whole square plus y plus 5 whole square is equal to 16. Now, this is your form of the equation of circle, and then obviously if you need, you can also expand it and write it in an expanded form. And you can do the opposite as well. Like for example, you're being given an equation of circle, and let's say that equation of circle is x minus 3 whole square plus y minus 5 whole square is equal to let's say 36, and you're being asked to find out the center of the circle. So you would say you can equate this to 0, you can get the x coordinate of the center, because you see in this form, if you equate x minus a to 0, you will get x is equal to a, and y minus b to 0, you will get y as b. So similarly, if you want to find out the center of the circle, you can just take whatever is inside the bracket and equate it to 0. So the center is going to be 3 and 5. Let's say this was plus 5 and you had equated it to 0. So it would become minus 5. And the radius, this is r square. So if r square is 36, then radius is going to be under root of 36, which simplifies as 6. You can also write down the expanded form of the equation of circle. If you've already proved this form of the circle, and if you expand both the brackets, this bracket expands to x square minus 2ax plus a square, and this bracket expands to y square minus 2by plus b square, and that's equal to r square. So you can rearrange this, and this is how it's going to look like. So you have x square minus 2ax, these two terms written down, and then y square minus 2by, these two terms written down, and then you can write all the constants together, which is a square plus b square minus r square. So you can also write down the equation of circle in this form, and keep in mind that a and b is still the center of the circle and r is the radius of the circle. So you could get this kind of situation where you're given an equation of a circle and you could be asked to find out their center and the radii. So I equate x minus 5 to 0 and y minus 3 to 0, and I'll get myself the center, and then since 7 squared tells me that the radius is 7. Or if it's 25, then the square root of 25 radius is 5, and the center would be minus 6 and minus 1. So similarly, I can find out the center and radius. And I could do the exact opposite of that as well, that like I've been given the center and the radius, and I have to write down the equation. So x minus the center x coordinate, which is minus 1, plus y minus the center y coordinate, that is 3, equals radius square, that is 2 square. Though this is the form, but it depends how examiner is asking you to write down the form of the circle. You can leave it in this form, but if examiner says I need specifically in this form, then I can expand it and simplify it and get myself the equation of circle in this expanded form. I could also be given this form of the circle, and I would be asked to find out the radius and the center. I'm going to recall the equation of circle as x square plus y square minus 2ax minus 2by plus a square plus b square minus r square equals 0. So with that, I can make a comparison here, and I can see, well, x square and y square are directly comparable and they're exactly same, and they should be. But then I can see that the coefficient of x over here is minus 2a, whereas the coefficient of x over here in the given equation is minus 6. So I compare my formula with the given equation, and I can get myself minus 2a as minus 6, which I can solve to get the value of a. Similarly, I can do minus 2b is equal to minus 2, and I can solve that to get the value of b as well. And if I have to find out the radius, I'm going to have to compare the constant over here. The constant in the formula is a square plus b square minus r square, and in this equation it is 6. So I can equate a square plus b square minus r square to 6. I have already figured out the values of a and b. I'll plug them in, and I will be able to get myself the value of the radius. Let's have a look at another question where I've been given the equation of a circle, and I know a point that lies in the circle, but I don't know its y coordinate, and I have to determine that. So it's a pretty straightforward thing. I know that the point, if lies on the circle, must satisfy the equation of the circle. So in place of x, I can write 3, and in place of y, I can write k, and then solve this equation for the value of k, and I can get two possible values of k here. Similarly, let's have a look at another question where I know that this point lies in the circle, and this is the center, and this is the radius. I need to find the value of k. Knowing that the center of the circle is 4, 1 and radius is under root 10, I can write down the equation of the circle, and after writing down the equation of the circle, I know that if this point lies on the circle, then I can replace x by k and y by 0. And once I do that, I'll get the values of k from here. Thank you everyone. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please do subscribe and like.